Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are. This is Mr. Shakespeare here again with you on the 19th of September 2023. I'm joined with remote viewer, psychic medium, Liz Cross. How are you doing today, Liz?
I am doing great. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to do Clif High today.
Oh, okay. There's been a lot of requests for him lately.
Yeah, because of a video that he put out with Dick Allgaier, who you heard of or know, where they were referenced as Smith, and some stuff that those guys have done. And Clif basically does what you guys do, but he does it the long way around. He does it with computers, and he at the end of the day, he's making predictions about the future and things like that. I mean, he can't do what you do, but his computer software is very good, and obviously it's been honed over many years. So I'd like to. Okay, so I was going to send you the video to watch it, which goes against everything we normally do, so that you would have half an idea of what these guys were on about. But then I decided I would not.
No, I have not seen the video. Where is it posted? YouTube?
I think it's on Rumble. Probably won't be on YouTube. I mean, yeah, it's come up in a couple of places. And I mean, I can send you the link if you want, but this will be after the event now. It's
no, don't have time to watch videos.
No,
please,
that's what I
thought. Please don't. And that goes for anybody, not just my interviewers. Please, please, please do not send me videos or links or anything like that. If you have something to tell me, just tell me in your own words. I will not watch a video. I will not watch and click on links. So yeah, I don't.
I mean, I know, obviously I know that, and that's why I never ever send you videos or send you anything. I'll tell you, in fact, what we're going to do.
Which is today. I have no idea.
Right. So, but they have had. Now we can make this just Clif's view, or we can actually bring in the other guys, the remote viewers. I don't know whether you want to do that or not. We don't need to do that. We can just do
no. I can just use Clif. He's good to go.
All right. So I need you to get a connection with him, please.
Okay, I have him. He's not well.
Oh, okay. Does he know that he's not well?
Yes, he's very aware of it.
Okay, is this part of any ongoing existing problems that he's had? Because he's had a few problems over the years.
Oh, has he? Okay. Yes, this is part of the problem. Yes, this is a problem. Ongoing. And there may not even be a cure. It's just sort of maintaining at this point.
Just to do with cancer?
Just to do with cancer. Part of it, yes.
Right. Okay. So recently his software has picked up a rise in emotional tension and emotional, release language and everything, which is off the scale. The number that he quoted, I think, was 81. To put this in context, I think 9/11 or something was number 6, was a 6. So, does he know does he have an idea of what he thinks this is?
So when you say emotional language, he's scouring.
So his software tracks emotional. It tracks language and then the emotion of that. So to give you an example, I'll use the example of going on a roller coaster. So I'm going to go on a roller coaster tomorrow, but I'm a bit worried about it. So I'm a bit scared. So I'm building tension, building tension, building tension. I now get on the roller coaster. And, halfway or quarter of the way down the roller coaster, oh, thank God that's all over. Oh, the release. So it's the release of that. He's tracking that on well, I'd like to say global basis, but does he track every single thing? No, he doesn't. But his software does a very good job of tracking a lot of this. So, if a whole lot of people were drafted into the army and are about to go to war, and he looked at those people as an entity, say, a whole continent or something, he would see the emotional tension, building. The wives, the girlfriends, the mothers, the daughters, and everything were saying, "Oh, don't do," you know what I mean? That type of thing.
Mm.
So his software has generated quite a spike rather, not a spark, a spike in this upcoming thing, of which has been corroborated by the previous mentioned remote viewers. So I know what I think it is, because I've already I have an idea what I think it is, but I'm not going to say yet. But I want to now. Does he know what this is leading to?
Do you know what this is to, this emotional buildup? He's not quite sure. It could be an economic crash, a crash in the markets.
And that would give that kind. Well, I suppose it might do. Does he think it's anything to do with Cheyenne Mountain?
Do you think it's anything to do with Cheyenne Mountain? It could. He's not sure.
Mm-hmm.
What is the name of his software program?
He doesn't really have enough. Well, he has something called an emotional reduction engine, which something like that. He doesn't. I don't think his software has a name. It's not like Martin Armstrong with his Socrates program.
Oh,
This program was programmed many years ago and has been refined and developed over many years. I'm not sure exactly how much work he's still doing on it. I know that most of he can't do long-term data or anything like that. So it's sort of short-term immediacy data now. So, which I believe it goes out to about 3 months. Anything after that, and it's just too foggy for him to make any kind of predictions.
well,
So,
that's fair enough. I was going to probe the software. Excuse me. Let me pull in Clif High software program that he's developed. Okay, so I have a connection with his software program. Do you have any idea what this is? No, but the tensions are running high. On a scale of 0 to 10, what would you rate the tension at the moment? He rates it at about a 6 or 7, this software. Okay. Right. What sort of indications are you getting from the internet, from the language? What sort of indications are you receiving that something big's about to happen?
Right. But that's what everybody wants to know. What is this big? Is it financial? Is it some kind of energy weapon?
Is it some kind of energy weapon? I don't know. I'm going to have to go out into the future.
Yeah, well, this is what I was thinking. We can only ask him a bit now. Let's put him out to 19th of January, 2024.
Okay. Don't forget, the people that put out the mushroom cloud, they do that about 3 or 4 times a year. A lot of times when they do this fear-based predicting, it scares a lot of people, but it's good for business, right? So a lot of people want to know what to expect. Do I need to put sandbags in my doorways? Do I not take a flight? Am I going to have an earthquake? Is the volcano near me going to erupt? So let's subscribe.
Okay, well, that might be true on those guys, but Clif isn't trying to sell anything. He has there are no reports anymore. Everything he does now, he does free of charge. There is no, he's banned on YouTube, so he's on Substack and places like that. There's no money. He's not monetizing any of his content for sure. As far as I'm
but I just want to point that out that fear mongering does sell, not Clif. Of course. But a lot of time, and not only that, they're not the only ones putting out that information. There's been a few psychics as of late that are putting out that information, and I'm sure they see an uptick in numbers. So now you've got this energy buildup of, ooh, something may happen. We don't know what it is. And now you have this thought form out there. And it could be because I talked about this on another video, where when you have double blind targets, and I'm not knocking those remote viewers, this is just my take on it. When you have double blind targets, those are really for people that, as Mr. Reality put it the other day in that video, it's to prevent their logical mind, their imagination kicking in. So they're trying to imagine the target. These guys, I don't know if they really need to do double blind sessions, but they stick to the rules, which is fine. However, they don't know where their signal line is going. Now, the signal line is what the remote viewer forms from their intuition, their brain, and it's a channel, but that channel is hitting something and bringing the information in, but they don't know if they're hitting an actual target. Are they hitting on, the tension in the air, the economic tension? Are they hitting on the fact that, some other psychic or tarot card reader has put this energy out? Maybe they have hundreds of thousands of followers. Now, a lot of people are getting scared. They don't know where that signal line is coming, is hitting, and the information is coming from. They're just pulling in the information. Does that mean they're wrong? Not necessarily, but there's a big difference between what they do and what I do, which is I don't sit there, guesswork about where my signal lines are placed. I go straight to the target. But then again, I've learned to set my logical mind aside. That takes a lot of training, and you're just pulling information. But part of doing that means that how I stay blind to the targets is I just stay away from all this information. So therefore, my logical mind isn't kicking in. So that's why I don't click on videos. I don't read the news really or anything like that. And I'm far too busy for that. But anyway, I felt that deserved an explanation.
Okay,
So
but all right. So we're concentrating here just on Clif. So I'm not really going to ask questions about the other RVers. Okay, I know that those two they had a a video session together which they have done in the past. I mean, they don't do it often, but I'm more interested in what Clif's seen in his software, because he's not a remote viewer. He has software that is predicting something. So
exactly.
If we've got him out in January 2024, what is it? What happened? Did anything happen?
Standard time. When you did the video with a remote viewer in September and you were predicting a massive event, what happened? Did any event happen? No. There was no mushroom cloud? No.
Was there a financial crash?
Was there a financial crash? No.
All right, let's put him out further. Put him out to the last day of June.
June 30th, 2024,
24.
Eastern Daylight Time. Okay.
Same questions, really. His software had predicted, a rise, emotional tension and everything in September. There was some big event that could be happening. Has that event happened? If so, when and what was it?
That presented itself as a mushroom cloud? No. Was there a market crash? Okay. Was there a market crash? There was a slight market crash. Okay, hold on. What was this in 2023? No. So it looks like there was a slight market crash in 2024.
Okay, well, it wasn't up to the 19th of January, and we're now at the 30th of June. So it was between the 19th of January and the 30th of June, 24?
Yes, I feel like possibly in April, there's a significant downturn. But it's very temporary because, true to form, people have money waiting to buy in for crashes, right? That's how they operate. They are waiting in the wings to buy in, and they have a lot of money to buy in because it's a perfect buying opportunity. And so it looks as if, like, when the market goes down, loads of people start throwing money in because they're buying in the dips, and it doesn't last long.
Right, but I mean, would this cause such a massive spike in his number? You know, he was saying about 81 and release tension. You know, and I mean, the COVID thing only had 6 when that was done. So, you know, a minor market crash doesn't seem to equate to 81 in his numbers on release tension.
So what is his? So COVID was 6. So what is 81 is obviously higher than 6.
Right. So there must have been a massive buildup of tension for it to then dissipate, you know, the release of tension. You know, imagine what I said earlier on about my roller coaster thing as an example. You know, obviously, if one person was intrepid about getting onto a roller coaster, and then when it was all over, that would, you know, that might be a personal, but it, you know, this has to be a global or an American or something big to give it that kind of level of number, you know.
Well,
I mean,
you know,
people didn't know
sometimes
whether it was a nuclear bomb going off, a directed energy weapon, another false flag. You know, they destroy Cheyenne Mountain or they destroy, you know, Idaho. Not that that was on the list. I'm just making these things up. You know, that kind of thing. You know, is there a massive false flag? Because, you know, we're in election season now in June 2024, aren't we, in the US?
I'm getting a no on the false flag. I'm getting, was there a weapon used against the U.S.? No. Did the U.S. enter in any kind of war? No. What happened with Russia, Ukraine? Was there a nuclear detonation? There's a big threat to detonate, right? There is a big threat. I feel like Russia is getting tired, and I feel like the war is tired. You know, how much longer can everybody keep fighting? Both sides are getting tired, and somebody wants to pull the trigger or hit the button just to get it all over with, but they're being cautious about that. Um, Another thing that came through, which is very interesting, and it could be what he's picking up on, a lot of planets are in retrograde at the moment. So a lot of minor setbacks on a global scale having a ripple effect across the globe can also increase tension.
Right.
Uh, we've been going through these hard economic times now for far too long. Most of us, certainly in the West, are having difficulties, financial difficulties. You know, that a lot of families can barely put food on the table, and that's with 2 full-time incomes. Wages are not going up. Now, what I am getting as well, there have been a lot of layoffs in September, October time, particularly in the tech industry. And also, here's where we start to see a turning point of tech development taking away a lot of jobs.
Right. Okay. But
Now,
none of this would describe this kind of level of release to me. Um, Now, it could be that we dodged a bullet, that kind of thing. There was going to be something. One of the things Clif said in his recent video when he was talking about this, and he said that by getting this out there, by him getting it out there, and maybe the other guys getting it out there, you know, maybe whoever was going to do whatever they were going to do, they won't do it now because there's too many people out in the open talking about it, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. That's very true. I feel like, you know, I know that I'm being watched by a government agency for the information I'm putting out. Like I've come across that in the last few weeks, and government agencies do pay attention to some of these people that are out there. If they're credible, they start to pay attention. And a perfect example, Mr. Shakespeare, is that video that we did on RFK Jr., which was highly controversial. I'm like, I can't even put this out. But then we did a lot of editing and we took out a lot of information. You know what I'm talking about. And mysteriously, that video has gone missing off my computer. So somebody has said to me, well, what you have to do is you have to have a computer that is not connected to the internet to store your information, because as long as it's connected to the internet, it can be infiltrated and they can take whatever they want.
Mm-hmm.
So, somewhere that video has completely disappeared off my computer. And not only has it disappeared off my computer, but it's disappeared off my backup drive as well. So I have a separate drive, a backup that isn't attached to the computer at all times. And it's disappeared off of that too. So I found that really quite astonishing. It could very well be. I mean, these guys have come to notice by people in the government.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I mean, Clif's been on their radar screen for a long time. He even had a mysterious break-in a few years ago, a couple of years, whenever it was, that a lot of his data and equipment were took. So
yeah. Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
You see, that's how these things roll. That's why Liz Cross does not put her face out there, right? Because I had the foresight to see the possibilities of what can happen. And I've heard this God knows how many times before. I mean, David Oates, the big guy in Reverse Speech, when he was exposing all sorts of government secrets, he heard strange noises in the middle of the night, woke up and saw his computer being wiped, or something about his computer. They were stealing files off of his computer remotely. And this is a long time ago. They also, his house got firebombed, and his son was murdered. His son was murdered. And of course, they gave the death as inconclusive, but he was found somewhere where he shouldn't have been, in a place that was so far removed from his character, his daily activities. You know, that's why this stuff can be a little dangerous. And I'm willing to take that risk, but I'm only willing to take the risk so far. And definitely these guys and excuse me, the remote viewers are on the radar. So yeah, they could very well find that information useful, and they can prevent whatever. There's all sorts that goes on, you know, that we put out and it's missed by the media, because a lot of this stuff is underground information. And just because it's not reported in the media doesn't mean that it's not true. So it could be the crisis averted.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's what he was saying. And I think there are other people that are talking about, well, there's lots of other people talking about it as well. But I mean, as you are sitting there with him at the end of June, nothing has happened.
As far as I can see, nothing has happened. Now, it could
Well,
be
let's do one more thing then. Put him out to the end of November 2024.
Oh, I knew you were going to do that. November 30th, 2024, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. What would you like to know?
Same questions. Has the things that, you know, that had massive release tension back in September 2023, has anything happened of note? I mean,
the release tension scales, anything happen of note? Well, yeah, now we're getting into political season, right? So lots of government corruption, lots of exposure coming out about all of the politicians, particularly the Bidens. I feel like, and we've gotten this before in another probe, a lot of information about the Bidens coming out like full scale, a lot of exposure now of all the dealings that they've had, and not just them, lots and lots of people running who shouldn't be running, just lots of corruption being exposed. And, that causes people a lot of anxiety. I mean, it's good to have the corruption exposed, but it's also very unsettling for a lot of people.
Mm. Okay, but nothing, no nuclear bombs gone off or false flags or anything major.
They've gone off for nuclear bombs, major. No, no. But remember, we could really be on the brink of World War III and not even know it, because our media, it's all hidden, or even if it's not hidden, they're not going to report those sorts of facts until we're in the thick of it, unless there's a whistleblower that's going to leak that information. I always said, even 2 years ago, in the videos that we were putting out, I said there was going to be a problem with Russia and that sort of area, that there was going to be war, that we are going to end up on the brink of World War III. For those of you that have been following me for a long time, I mean, I put that out a long time ago. That don't go back looking for those videos. That YouTube channel was pulled down. Actually, 2 YouTube channels were pulled down. So, yeah. So we could be on the brink of World War III. So let's group the U.S. government, and let's see, are we on the brink of World War III? See, we're getting close. So I feel that this tension that we're picking up on has to do with, we're sort of instinctively and energetically feeling these vibrational levels of something's going to happen. We don't know what it is, but something just doesn't feel right. And see, that's where they're forming their signal lines to, probably a lot, not just them, a lot of people, a lot of psychics out there. And it feels like we're in talks to try to avoid World War III. Actually, we are a lot closer than they're letting us know.
Yeah. Okay. Hold Clif there a minute. Let's grab Colonel Douglas McGregor.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Very accomplished. What would you like to know?
Let's put him out at the same timeline. November.
Okay. So
2024.
November 30th, 2024, 2024, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. What would you like to know?
Has there been any nuclear exchange between Russia and the West, or Ukraine and Russia, or any nuclear explosions anywhere in the last 9 months?
Nuclear exchange or explosions at all from September 2023 till November 30th, 2024. No, but here we go. I feel November 2023, they were on the brink of hitting the button. Somebody was on the brink. I don't know if it's Ukraine or if it's Russia, but somebody was on the brink because they want this war to be over, right? Both sides, they're tired. And
well, yeah, I mean, the Russians want it over, obviously, but I mean, there's talk of trying to keep, from the West point of view, to freeze it and then restart it again in the future. I mean, the Ukrainians don't really, the Americans and Ukrainians, if they can't win it, they don't want it over because they don't want to have to admit a defeat. So there is talk about trying to freeze the conflict, which is not in Russia's interest, obviously, but it's in the West's interest.
right. So I feel in November, they're really, really close. I feel like there's a near miss on the nuclear site. On a nuclear site, is it in Ukraine? Yes, I feel like it is in the Ukraine, but obviously it would have a massive knock-on effect to all of us.
So is this like a missile attack on there, or is it a false flag missile attack? Is it sabotage? Is it, what is it?
Is it sabotage? He believes it's sort of sabotage. Yes, it's deliberately done to really scare the hell out of everybody, to try to bring some sort of resolution to this war, that this cannot continue.
Right, because obviously Ukraine have been doing false flag attacks on their own thing and then trying to blame Russia. So that's been happening quite a few times, that Colonel McGregor has noted in some of his videos and audios over the past God knows how many months. But is it something like that? Is that what it is? Or because if it's, is it a nuclear facility like a power plant or in Ukraine? Or I mean,
Yes, is it a power plant? Not necessarily a power plant, but pretty close to it.
right.
So there's a near miss in there somewhere.
Okay.
And that near miss may not even be reported in the
Right.
mainstream media, but certainly government officials will know that it's a near miss. It may not even be reported. We don't, we can't ever say that everything that all of us, remote viewers, psychics, whatever we come across, will ever be reported.
No. No.
So that seems to be what it is.
Okay.
And we
All
feel
right.
it. We feel it. We're all feeling it in our
Well,
guts.
yeah, this would be building some tension. Yeah, this would be.
And nuclear is big time. A crash is nothing compared to a nuclear explosion. COVID is relatively nothing compared to a nuclear explosion.
Yeah.
Uh, so, and those things can have knock-on effects on the DNA around the globe for years to come.
Right.
All right.
Okay.
Anything
I
else? Looks like we got to the bottom of it.
think so.
All right, I'll stop this one here. Thank you very much. And thank you to our member on the Patreon, patreon.com/remote viewing and beyond, who posed this probe. Thank you.